Good morning, YouTube. So, got a 2006 Honda CRV, so second generation. So I think it runs around from 2002 to 2006, yeah. And then third gen comes out in 2007. So yeah, anyways, if you have a second gen CRV, this is probably for you. But yeah, this customer's complaint, it cranks slowly, but once the engine is warm up and you shut it off, it cranks just fine. This is very common on these CRVs. If you notice that in the morning it cranks very slowly, and then after you shut it off, like when the engine is nice and hot, and then it just like cranks well faster, but not as slow when you first start it up in the morning. Usually it's because that starter it's drawing a lot of current in the morning because it's nice and cold. But once it's warm up, once the engine warms up, there's heat in it, and then all that junk that's inside the starter and the bearings and everything, that gets kind of softer, and you know, it's easier for that armature inside to spin. So that's what the issue is. So yeah, see, you can hear it. Sometimes when it cranks for a very long time, but it cranks very slowly. But then it'll eventually start once it starts moving, and that starter gets warm. So now, as you can hear, the starter was cranking very slowly, and it took for a while for it to start up. Now starts right up very, very quickly because that starter got some heat in it, and all that junk inside that starter that's preventing that armature inside from spinning is now easier to move. And now if you let this sit for, you know, overnight, and then you start in the morning, it cranks very slowly. Sometimes it almost doesn't want to crank over because of the resistance. And then now it has some heat to it, and it's pretty much fine. But once, if I let it run for a while, and then the engine gets hot, because right now the engine's cold. Yeah, now it's all completely fine. So this is just going to be a starter video. This is really common on the on these CRVs. Also on the RDX too. If you notice that your RDX is also cranking very slowly, and you change the battery and it's not the battery and it's still cranking slow. One, it could which these things can happen is the positive cable corrodes, but there's no corrosion on the terminal that usually runs, and it just makes its way through the whole entire positive cable. So there's no corrosion on terminals, and it's most likely, if it's the original starter, which this thing has 205,000 kilometers. Usually these starters will last for a pretty long time, but a good sign when it's starting to fail is when they start cranking very slowly. So yeah, if you notice that, you know, you change the battery and it still cranks slowly, most likely it's going to be your starter. And then if there's corrosion on the terminals, that corrosion could also be your positive cable going to the starter. So anyways, let me show you how to get the starter out. I'm going to pull it out from the top. I'm going to remove the front, like the half of the intake manifold, and then you're just going to take it out, and you're going to get the starter out from the top. So first things first, disconnect the negative cable. I'll start by removing this battery here. And yeah, I'm going to pull this battery out. Alright, battery's moved out of the way. I'm going to start by this part of the intake. Disconnect all your connectors, right? There's a little tip if you're trying to get hoses off. Put a little grease on your angled pick. That way when you stick it in, it slides around it. At the same time it lubricates it, so then they'll slip right off. So I just like slip around it, put it, and then rather than fight with the hose trying to pull it off, it comes right off easy because there's some grease in it. That's a simple tip for you guys. Just don't poke a hole in the hose. So that's all out. This harness out of the way. So there's the intake. And then disconnect the throttle body. There's also one clip that I also disconnected down there. Attaches to the bottom of the intake manifold. But I got that from underneath, which you have to remove the cover for. Okay, so first thing I did was take the entire harness, and then that way I can flop it over here. That's one thing, because the harness kind of goes in front of it, and I kind of need to get it out this way. So everything's all good. There's coolant lines for a throttle body, but you just take the 4 bolts out and then you swing that out of the way. I gotta take this thing out, put the throttle body far enough down, and this thing has to come this way. So yeah, this thing hits this, so it can't come out this way. You gotta slide it out through this side. So for this to get past the throttle body, you gotta remove this part of the snorkel down here that's bolted right here. So I gotta remove the 10 mil out. Okay, so intake manifold, it's a tight squeeze, but it'll come out. But you just gotta get a buddy to, you know, hold the hose out of the way. Get the little intake piece down here that I unbolted from here. Just put it down to the bottom, and then your throttle body, just put it as low as you can, and this thing literally just comes right up. Anyways, starter's right here, right? So there's a connector that goes like right here. You can just pop right out. You get access to the positive cable up here, and then also the bolt for this up there, and then this bolt for the bottom part of the starter, and then that's basically your starter replacement on your 2nd gen CRV. So it's not bad. Yeah. Anyways, get all this thing out. One thing that is a good thing to do is, while you're here, you can kind of pinch those things closer together so you get a tighter contact with it. Because this thing doesn't have a connector that clicks in. It's just a little boot, and then just this. So I get a little pair of needle nose pliers, and then I squeeze those flaps closer together so you get a tighter connection. So this makes it so much easier to get the top bolt in and out. All you gotta do is just crack it loose when they're this tight. Oh man, that's so tight. Oh, there goes my light. Let's see if I can crack it loose. Okay, let me get both hands on this. Yeah, that's good. Long bolt. There's a starter. This might as well be the original starter that came from the factory. They don't make it like they used to, Japan. You know how I know? Because they have the yellow mark from when they checked it at the factory, because they marked it here, and then they mark it right over there. I don't know if you can see the yellow mark right there. See? So that's the mark where they from the factory, as they, you know, quality control checks. You know, okay, starter, put it in, torqued and everything. They put the yellow mark on the starter, corresponding to the mark on the block. So this is the original starter for almost 20 years now. They don't make these starters like they used to. Let's just say that. So the customer opted for a aftermarket Denso, right? Just because the OEM one is like upwards of $800, which the customer didn't want to pay for it. They wanted to go with an aftermarket, which is less than half the price. So yeah, I don't know, not my money, but in my opinion, these things don't last more than like 2 years. Okay, so I just want to make it clear, because somebody's in the comments going to be like, oh yeah, Denso makes good product. I know, I get it. They're good. It's the people who remanufactured them that that I don't trust. And if you want torque specs, because people want torque specs, 33, 47, and 7 pound-feet of torque. Okay, so I didn't show you how it came out, but it's essentially the same as going in. You want to angle it this way, so it's going to go down, and then you're going to rotate it to get it in. But you're going to have somebody to hold the hoses out of the way. That way it can go in that way, and it clears this little thing. And then make sure you plug in the connector back here on the bottom of the intake manifold on the back side. All right, so just like that, intake manifold is in. All I got to do is just bolt everything back up. You know, attach the PCV, the what is it called? The vacuum line to the brake booster, the purge line, everything that I need to do to put everything back together. So yeah, other than that, I think once I put everything back together, I don't know if there's a core on that. I think there's a core on it. I don't know if I should take it apart, but I do want to take it apart just to see if there's any like junk and stuff, like all the brush material and stuff, you know, stuff that you usually see inside the starter after a long period of time. All right, so everything all put back together, so I'm gonna go and start her up. And you can really tell the difference on how this thing cranks. Here we go. Oh, there's music. Oh, and I also have to relearn the window, so you just gotta hold it up, and then that's it, and it'll automatically roll down. So then you got the auto function working again. But here's how it cranks. I don't know if it'll show. And it's a lot faster. Like the cranking speed is a lot faster, and how it cranks is also a lot quieter too with this. So yeah, I hope that's this video is informative. Oh, also one thing I want to add, which is also involving starters, because recently we had a couple. Marvin had one on a 9th gen Civic. I gotta get the radio code. On a 9th gen Civic, you get a code for interruption, crank signal interruption code. I can't remember what the code is, but it has to do with your starter, not the crank sensor. So we've had a couple come from an aftermarket shop, and they threw crank sensors in it, but it still gets the same interruption in the crank signal. And it's actually because people who put in aftermarket starters after a couple years where they start to fail, it's the way how the starter cranks. So what happens is, don't put a crank sensor into it. Put a new starter into it, and it's the way how the aftermarket starters, when they start failing, it's the way how they crank. So how they crank is when you go to crank it, it'll crank and it'll slow down and it'll speed up again, and then that's what's setting that code, because the crank sensor has to pick up that signal, and it sees that slowing down and then speeding up as it cranks, which sets that code, and you get a check engine light. And people in the aftermarket world who put in aftermarket starters, and then aftermarket, you know, when that code sets and they throw in a crank sensor and it still doesn't fix it, and it's just all it is just because of the aftermarket starter. It's more common on the 9th gen Civic, and then on the 3rd gen CRV, which is the one after this generation, which we have been seeing. So if that information helps you with you know, your crank signal interruption code, that's basically what it is. It's just the way the starter cranks the motor over, and the crank sensor sees a slight interruption in the signal because of the starter, of the speed of the starter, how it slows down and it speeds up again while you're cranking it. It sets that code. So anyways, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thank you guys for watching. Check down in the link below for my Amazon affiliate store, and you know, you buy something, I get something out of it, and then I thank you guys for that, and see you next time. Okay. Oh, so blurry. All right, so I got a customer with a no start complaint, and it has a P0339 CKP sensor circuit intermittent interruption. It's rare, but it does happen when somebody put an it will start, but it'll set this code for sometimes it doesn't start, and then they'll disappear. And somebody's replaced a remanufactured starter by General. I don't know if you can see it. Ford General Motors.
There's a sticker right
There's
here.
a sticker somewhere.
Right at the top.
Yeah.
This white sticker there. You have to kind of come in this way.
Okay, come in this way. Yeah. So somebody put a starter in, now it's...
Yeah, on that sticker it'll say remanufactured from General Motors.
See it? Am I on there?
You see it? Oh, right there. You can see it. You see it? Right there,
I can't see it. Okay.
Tilt it towards the right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah?
There's a sticker. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that crank sensor code is because of the remanufactured starter motor that they just put into there.
And they said that they had this issue right after they put the starter motor in.
Yeah. So it's rare, but it does happen. Just for you guys that are having intermittent starting issues and it has that crank sensor code, but it does happen. Basically, we're just going to recommend another starter, an OEM one.
Send you into a wild goose chase.
Yeah, it'll send you to a wild goose chase. So hope this information helps you guys. It's just like that. It's just like those aftermarket belts that are slightly too long that causes the Civics with the R18 motor to misfire. That's kind of one of those weird things too.